class. The first thing you need to do is you need to join A plus students.com. You need to go to the website and you join the website. Then we would be studying maths today. So you need to go for the subject math. The grade level is grade 9. And the topic for today is number sequences. Number sequence. The topic number sequences is chapter 7. This is chapter 7. Chapter 7. And we will be doing geometric sequencing. That is, we would be doing geometric sequences. And that is lesson number 4. Lesson number 4. So let's start off with the topic. Let's see what questions are there and let's try to solve them. So grade 9 maths, chapter number 7, number sequences, and lesson number 4, that is geometric. Okay. The first thing we need to understand is what is a geometric sequence. In case of a geometric sequence, a geometric sequence has a ratio. Okay, we work on a ratio. All the values have a similar ratio. Okay, let's see what a ratio is. Let's suppose if we, for example, ratio is denoted by a small r as well. Okay, we are just looking at the ratio right now. So for example, if we have the numbers 1, 2, 4, right? And then let's suppose we have, okay, let's suppose we have the first 3 terms. This is term number 1, this is term number 2, this is term number 3, and this can be continued and so on. So what we need to see is we need to see the ratio. For any given 2 terms, if we need to find the ratio, what we can do is term 2 can be divided by term 1, or in order to find the ratio, we can say term 3 can be divided by its previous term. Any term divided by its previous term gives the ratio. So let's see over here. Term 2 was 2. When divided by term 1, 2 upon 1 comes out to be 2. That means the ratio is 2 for this. Let's compare and see whether the ratio is equal or not. Term 3 was 4. When 4 is divided by term 2, that was 2. The ratio comes out to be 2. So we need to find the ratio. Okay. Ratio can also be known as geometric sequence has a pattern. Ratio can also be known as like the comparison of the change of each value, how much each value is changing. Okay. So let's look at the first question of the topic. The question says, write the question says write the missing number in this sequence. We know it's already geometric sequence, right? So we will look at the numbers. The numbers given are 4, this number is missing, then it is 64, then it is 256, and then it is 1024. This is the sequence that is given to us, right? The first thing we need to do is we need to look for a pattern. Write it down. Let's look for a pattern. Okay, so the pattern is that the first number was 4, then something was missing in the middle and it became 64, right? So what we can do is by using the ratio. Can we say this is term number 1, this is term number 2, term number 3, term number 4, and this is term number 5. So if we can find the ratio from any of the terms, let's find the ratio. We know that ratio, in order to find the ratio, we take any two terms. The last term, let's suppose we say term 4 is divided by term number 3. That means 256 when divided by 64, we will find the value of the ratio. In this case, the ratio comes out to be 4. That means each value is multiplied by 4. Multiplied by 4. Multiplied by 4 is 4 times the value. So since the first term was 4 and we have to find the second term, so if we need to find term number 2, can we say 4 is multiplied by term 1, the previous term? That means 4 is multiplied by term number 1 and term number 1 was also 4 in this case. That means term 2 comes out to be 16, and that is your answer. Okay, the missing terms comes out to be 16. Okay, let's go back. Let's see if we can find more examples. Okay, let's go to the next question. Just keep in mind that we can find the ratio between any two given terms. Okay, let's do question number 2. Okay, it says type, we would say write the missing number in the sequence. Okay, the sequence given is 1, 2, 4. This is the missing number. Okay, 4. This is missing, and it is 16. Then it is 32. So the sequence is 1, 2, 4, missing number 16 and 32. So we need to look for a pattern. So what is the pattern? How can we find the pattern? Before doing the pattern, we can write term 1, term 2, term number 3. We need to find term number 4, right? We need to find term number 4. This is term number 5 and term number 6. So you have a choice to select any two consecutive terms. Consecutive means those two terms which are next to each other. So let's suppose if we would want to look at the pattern, let's find the ratio first. So if we take term 3 divided by term 2, can we say term 3 was 4 divided by 2 and the ratio comes out to be 2? Let's verify with some other value. If we want to confirm, can we say term number 6 is divided by term number 5? And we say 32 is divided by 16, and we can again say the ratio comes out to be 2. So we can see the pattern that every term, the next term is twice of the previous term. That means multiply by 2 times 2. This would be times 2, or this would be times 2 every time. So that means if we need to find term number 4. Term number 4 is r times the previous term. That is term number 3. That means term 4 is 2 times the previous term, and term number 3 was 4. So that means term number 4 comes out to be 8. That means this is a missing number. This is 8 over here. Okay. So we need to find the pattern, and the pattern in geometric sequence is the ratio. We need to find the ratio. Okay. Let's look at the next number. Next question. Question number 3 says, same statement, write the missing number from the sequence. And we know it's a geometric sequence because the topic is geometric right now. So the first number that is given to us is 636. The next number is a missing number. The third number is missing for us. And the fourth one would be 1296. And the last one is 7776. So these are the 5 numbers of a sequence, geometric sequence, out of which position is missing? Term 1 we have, term 2 we have, term number 3 is missing for us. This is term number 4 and term number 5. So we know that in a geometric, what we can do is we need to find the pattern, right? So in order to find the pattern, we need to find the ratio, because in geometric sequence, each value is a particular ratio of its previous value. So let's see if we can find the ratio. So if I say ratio, if we do term 2 is divided by term 1, that means 36 when divided by 6, that means the ratio comes out to be 6. Let's verify. Let's say we find the ratio by term number 5 is divided by term number 4. That is 7776 when divided by 1296. Let's put these values into the calculator. It should come out to be 6. If the ratios are not the same, then it is not a geometric sequence. Let's suppose between term 1 and term 2 the ratio was 6. Between term 5 and term 4 the ratio is 7. Then it's not a sequence. Sequence means it follows a particular pattern. Okay, so we can say the ratio is 6, and by ratio we know that every term is 6 times of the previous term, right? So what we can say is term number 3 is the ratio times the previous term. So we can say that term 3 is 6 times. The ratio was 6 times, and the previous term was, the previous term number 2 is given as 36. So in order to find term number 3, we multiply 6 by 36. And what is the answer? Okay, please can anyone give me an answer? Okay, that's good. The answer is 216. Okay, that means term number 3 comes out to be 216. Thank you. Let's look at the next question. The next question says, find the missing number in the geometric sequence, in this sequence, okay? So the numbers given are 3, 9, the term number 3 is missing, and then we have 81, and then we have 243. The first thing first, we label them as term number 1, term number 2, term number 3 we need to find, term number 4, and term number 5. In order to find the ratio, what we can do is term 2 is divided by term 1. Okay, so the value of term 2 was 9, divided by term 1 was 3. So we can say the ratio comes out to be 3. Let's verify whether this ratio is correct or incorrect. So if we say ratio, can we do term number 5 is divided by its previous term, that is term number 4. So when we do 243 is divided by 81, the ratio should come out to be 3. The ratio has to be the same. Okay, we are just doing it twice so that we can verify it's a sequence. But if it's in the exam, and it's always better to verify, but you can do it with one ratio also. Like if you find ratio once, you can still continue with the question. Okay, so in this case, what we can do is, we know that each term is 3 times of its previous term, times 3 times 3, right? That means, can I say that term number 3 is ratio times of its previous term? What is previous of 3? The term before 3 would be term number 2. So we can say term number 3 is, the ratio was 3 multiplied by term number 2, and the term number 2 was 9. So we can say that term number 3 comes out to be 27. So we can always write 27 in the sequence. Okay, I hope it's clear. Are there any questions? If there are any questions, please do ask them. Okay, good. Let's go to another example and let's see what else we can do in the sequence. Okay. For the fifth question, it says the same thing. Find the missing number in the sequence, missing number. Okay, a number, sorry, NUMBER. So the first number given is 1. The second term given is 5. The third term given is 25. They change the position of the missing term. And the fourth term is missing. And the fifth term is 625. First thing first, we need to label. We say term number 1, term number 2, term number 3, term number 4 we need to find, and term number 5. We just need to look at the pattern. What is exactly happening in this question? In order to know the pattern or the sequence of these numbers, what we need to find is, we need to find the ratio. The ratio was, we can do by term 2 is divided by term 1. That means 5 divided by 1, and the ratio comes out to be 5. Let's verify this ratio. If we say term 3 is divided by term 2, that is 25 is divided by, term 3 was 25, and term number 2 is, what is term number 2? Term number 2 is 5. So we can still say that the ratio comes out to be 5. So that means every term is 5 terms of its previous term. Okay, so what we can do here is we can write the statement term number 4 is ratio times of the previous term. That means term 4 is 5 times of its previous term. What was the previous term? The previous term was 25. Can anyone give me the answer to what is 5 multiplied by 25? Help me out, please. Give me an answer. So 5, yes, 5 multiplied by 25 is 125. Thank you for answering. So we can write 125 in the answer space. Let's go to the next question. The next question says, when we click on to the next, the question would say, type the missing numbers in the sequence, okay? We would say find the missing number, okay? Find the missing number. So the sequence given is 4, 16. A missing value 256, 1024, 4096. If this is the sequence that's given to us, what we need to do is we need to find the ratio. But before ratio, let's label the terms. Term number 3, term number 4, term number 5, and term number 6. Can we find the ratio? Can we say if term number 5 is divided by term number 4, that means 1024 is divided by 256. The ratio would come out to be 4. Or let's try to do it in an easier method. Ratio term 2 divided by term 1. The initial terms are usually the least working because 16 divided by 4, we already know that the ratio is 4. So in order to find term number 3, can we say that term number 3 is ratio times the previous term? If this is term 3, then the previous term would be term 2. Term 3 equals to, the ratio was 4, multiplied by term 2, that was 16. That means term 3 comes out to be 64. And we simply write the 64 over here, showing that this is the sequence of the numbers. The sequence in this case becomes 4, 16, 64, 256, 1024, and 4096. That is the complete sequence, okay? Let's move on to the next question and see. Okay. The next question says, find the missing, let's change it a bit, numbers. Okay, let's make it a plural over here. And if we write down the sequence, can we write this as 6, 36? Let's make this a missing. Okay. And we have 6, 36 missing, 1, 2, 9, 6, 7,776, and the last one is also missing over here. So we made a question The third value was given. I just skipped the third value so that we can create a different question and we can change the difficulty level, right? So what we can see is we can find the, the ratio. We know this is term 1, this is term 2, term 3, term 4, term 5, and term 6. So we need to find term number 3 and term number 6. Before doing anything else, we need to find the ratio. We can say term 2 when divided by term 1, that is, the ratio comes out to be 6. Let's verify. If we say term 5 is divided by term number 4, that means 7,776 when divided by 1296. The ratio again comes out to be 6. You can always put the values in the calculator and you can verify that, okay? It's 6. Now we need to find term number 3. So in order to find term number 3, we can say term number 3 is ratio times its previous term. That would be term 2. That means term 3 is 6 times of term number 2. Term 3 is 6 times of term number 2 was 36, right? Term number 2 was 36. So when we multiply 6 by 36, that means term number 3 comes out to be 216. We can simply write 216 over here. What else do we need to do? We need to find term number 6 because there were two variables in one question. That means term number 6 is r times of the previous term, that is term number 5. Term number 6 would be 6 multiplied by term number 5 was 7,776. That means term 6 is, when we multiply them together, 7,776 multiplied by 6, the answer comes out to be 46,656. Okay, so there can be a question where they can ask you two terms to be found, right? In this question, originally it was only term number 6 that was supposed to be found, but I skipped term number 3 because we know the sequence and we can also find two terms. We change the difficulty level, okay? Let's try question number 8. Find the missing number. Okay, this is an easy sequence. They say 1, 3, 9, missing number, and 81. We can say this is term 1, term 2, term 3. We have to find term number 4 and term number 5. So how can we understand the sequence? What is the first thing that we need to do? How can we find the pattern of the sequence? There must be a way to find the pattern, right? In order to find the pattern, we find the ratio. So we can say that ratio would be, let's suppose term 3 divided by term 2, that is 9 upon 3. The ratio comes out to be 3. Or we can say the ratio is term 2 divided by term 1. That is 3 divided by 1. That means the ratio comes out to be. So if we already have the ratios, that means each term is thrice the next previous term. Times 3, this is times 3, right? You don't have to write these times 3 times. I'm just trying to explain. This is just the explanation. So we can say term number 4 is ratio times its previous term. The previous term would be, since we had to find term 4, then the previous term is term number 3. Term number 4 is equals to, the ratio was 3 multiplied by the previous term. What is term number 3? Term number 3 is 9. That means term number 4 comes out to be, what is 3 times 9? Anyone? 3 times 9 is 27. That means the answer over here would be 27. Okay, let's move on further. Let's see the next question. In question number 9, the question is asking, write the missing number in the sequence. The sequence, it's very similar to the previous question. Question number 8, let's see. This is 3, 9, 27. Term number 4 is missing, and this is 243. We can see when we compare this, this was starting from 1, it went to 3. It is starting from 3, right? So most probably, let's see what the ratios are, and at the end we'll compare them, okay? So we know this is term number 1, term number 2, term number 3. We need to find term number 4, and term number 5 is given to us. First thing first, let's find the ratio. Ratio is basically the comparison between two consecutive values, right? That means we can say term 2 divided by term 1. We can say the ratio comes out to be 3. Or the ratio is term 3 divided by term number 2. The ratio still comes out to be 3. So if we have a constant ratio, that means every term is thrice. The next term is thrice of its previous term, 3 times. Okay? Or we can say the prior term is 1/3 of its next term. That is a difficult statement. Saying this is like easy as the next term is third of its previous term, 3 times of its previous term. Okay? So we can say if we need to find term number 4, that is r times the previous term. That would be 3. Term 4 would be ratio multiply by term number 3. And term number 3 is 27. Good. And what is the answer for 3 multiplied by 27? Can anyone help me out? 3 multiplied by 27 is, what is 3 multiplied by 27? That is 81. That means your answer over here should be 81. Okay, that is 81. Let's look at another example. Let's do question number 10. Question number 10. Let's see what they have for us. The question says, okay, type the missing, find the missing number in the sequence. The sequence given to us is 1, 10, should be 100, should be 1000, should be 10,000, and the last one is missing for us. Okay, so let's see. Let's look for the pattern, and before the pattern we write term 1, term 2, term 3, term 4, term 5, and term 6. See, the easiest possible way to do this question is that we find the ratio over here, and we know that the ratio is 10. How do we know that? Because ratio, when we compare this value to this value, the first term is compared to the second. That means term 2 is divided by term 1. That means 10 upon 1, the ratio is 10. And we know that every term is means multiplication by 10. So this was 10,000. When 10,000 was multiplied by 10, it becomes 100,000. This should be the answer. See, it's there are easy ways to do it, but we would want to verify. That means term 3 divided by term 2, that is 100 divided by 10, and the ratio comes out to be 10. So in order to find term number 6, we can say it is ratio times term number 5. That means term number 6 is, what was the ratio? 10. And term number 5 was 10,000. So 10,000 times 10 is 100,000. And that is our answer. Okay, thank you. Let's move on to the next question. Are there any questions for me? Yeah, we can find both the ratios, and then we can say that each term is a multiple of 10. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's try doing some questions from the test. Let's try some questions from the test so that you may be able to complete the questions later on. We'll do a few. Okay, the first question from the test, I'll just copy the question so that we have the answers as well. Okay, it says type the missing numbers from the sequence. Okay, and this is the missing numbers from the sequence. These are the two options that are given to us, option A and option B. We'll write option A, option B, and we'll select our answer later on. Okay, so we need to find the missing number. Let's see what can be the missing number. First thing first, we write term 1, term 2, term 3, term 4, and term number 5. That means we need to find term number 3. Let's find the ratio first. Term 2 divided by term 1, that is 36 divided by 6. The ratio is 6. And once we know this is 6, that means this should be times 6. That means term number 3 is ratio multiplied by the previous term, that was term number 2. Term 3 means 6 is multiplied by term number 2, and the term number 2 was 36. That means term number 3 comes out to be 6 times 36. That is 216. That means it is option number B. We click on option B, and it would show you that the website will show you that whether the answer is correct or incorrect. Okay, let's do one more. Let's see. Question number 2. Okay, I'll just put it next to this so that, okay. In question number 2, let's take a screenshot so that we don't have to copy everything, and we have the same questions on your screen and my screen. The second question on the website is type in the missing numbers in the sequence. Okay. So if this is a question given to us, and in this case, they have given us three options, A, B, C. We have option A, we have option B, and we have option C. Can we find the ratio? This is term 1, term 2, term 3, term 4, and term 5. So the ratio would be term 3 upon term 2, 9 upon 3, and the ratio comes out to be, when 9 is divided by 3, the ratio is 2 or 3. Is it 2? Is it 3? Yes, it's 3. We need to find term number 4. The term that we need to find should be equal to ratio multiplied with the previous term. Term number 4 is, the ratio is given as 3 is multiplied by its previous term, and the previous term was 9. So can anyone give me the answer? What is 3 times 9? That is 27. Yes. So option A is the correct answer in this case. Okay, agreed. Let's move on to the next. And let's see. Let's do a few more questions. Okay, 27 would be correct. If we click on 27, it would show us it's correct and it would move on to the next. So the next question in the sequence is, okay, find the missing number in the sequence. For question number 3, it says, if these are given to us, we need to find the missing number. And they have given us two options, option A or option B. Okay. I'll give you some time to do this, then I'll start, and then at the end we'll compare our answers, okay? Meanwhile, I'll just read the question for you. Type the missing numbers in the sequence. The term number 1 is given as 4. The term number 2 is missing. The term number 3 is 64. Term number 4 is 256. And the last term given is term number 5, that is 1024. So we would write term 1, term 2, term 3, and term 5. It's your choice. How do you find the ratio between term 4 and term 3, or term 5 and term 4, right? Any two consecutive terms. So if I would say term 4 is divided by term 3, and 256 is divided by 64. 256 divided by 64 is 4. That means the ratio comes out to be 4. What term do we need to find? We need to find term number 2. That means it is ratio multiplied by the previous term. The ratio was 4 multiplied with the previous term, and the previous term was 4 as well. That means term 2 comes out to be 4 times 4 is 16. That means option D is the correct answer. Okay, so what you need to do is, you need to attempt a few more questions. We did 3 questions. There are 7 more questions to it. You attempt these questions, and if there is any problem, you can always go back to the lesson and you can go through the lesson. Try these questions on your own so that so that you have a better understanding how this topic can be done. And in the next class, we can continue with this topic, okay? Okay, thank you so much. I hope there is no confusion. If there is, can you just write it down? If you need any explanation, I'll help you out with that. Okay, just remember that, answer your questions. When you're in the test, click on the options, A, B, C, whatever the correct answer is, click on the option. Okay, thank you so much. Best of luck.